It's a great pleasure to welcome you all, whether you're here in person or online, to the swearing-in of Sir Richard Snowden as a Justice of the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom. It's a particular pleasure for me to welcome Sir Richard's partner, Georgina, his sons, William and James, and their partners, Sarah and Sarah, his brother Michael and wife Jo, and other family members and friends, including several friends who have come from Finland. I'm also pleased to welcome the Lady Chief Justice, the Presidents of the King's Bench Division and the Family Division, the Master of the Rolls, the Chancellor of the High Court, the Senior President of Tribunals, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Justice, and many other friends and guests. Some of you will be familiar with the ceremony you're about to see. For those not familiar with it, it's relatively simple. After some introductory remarks about Sir Richard, I'll invite him to come forward to take the oaths that are required by law. First, the oath of allegiance to His Majesty the King, and secondly, the judicial oath. You may have noticed the judicial oath etched on the glass panel in the entrance hall as you came into our building. It reminds everyone who comes here of the oath that all the members of the court have taken to uphold judicial independence and impartiality. I'll then invite Sir Richard to assume the robes of a Justice of the Supreme Court and to take his seat alongside us on the bench. First, I'd like to say something about Sir Richard. He was brought up in Redcar in Yorkshire. I believe he's the second member of this court to have been brought up there, the first being my predecessor as president, Lady Hale, whom I'm delighted to see here today. After grammar school in Redcar, the young Richard Snowden proceeded to Cambridge, where 45 years ago he was taught the law of contract by another member of this court, Lord Lloyd Jones, on my left, his tutor at Downing College. This will be the first time we've had student and teacher simultaneously on the court, although it's not the first such combination at different times, Lord Stevens having been taught by Lady Hale. After Cambridge, where he took a first in law, Richard proceeded to Harvard Law School, where he graduated with an LLM. He was then called to the bar by Lincoln's Inn and entered practice alongside two former members of this court, Lady Arden and Lord Richards, at what is now called Erskine Chambers. He specialized there in company law, corporate insolvency, and commercial litigation, taking silk in 2003. Not long after that, he became a recorder of the Crown Court, presiding over criminal trials. In 2015, he was appointed to the High Court bench. He was assigned to the Chancery Division and acted as what is given a rather grand title of Vice-Chancellor of the County Palatine of Lancaster, that's to say, the supervising judge of the business and property courts in the north and northeast of England. In 2021, he was promoted to the Court of Appeal, where he added experience of family cases to his experience in the fields of company law, insolvency, equity, and crime. Latterly, he served as the lead judge for international relations on the Court of Appeal, in which he was notably energetic and effective. Off the bench, Richard has been a rugby referee for 37 years and currently serves as a member of the RFU disciplinary panel. He has also had close connections with Finland for about 40 years. His late wife, Kirsty, was Finnish, and Richard retains many ties with that country. Richard's appointment will strengthen this court's experience in several areas of the law, most obviously company law and insolvency law, in which he has an international reputation, but also in the other areas of which he has experience. He will be invaluable in maintaining the quality of our judgments and our reputation as a centre of legal excellence. Sir Richard, I now invite you to take the oaths required by law.
I, Richard Andrew Snowden, do swear by Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors, according to law. I, Richard Andrew Snowden, do swear by Almighty God that I will well and truly serve our Sovereign Lord, King Charles III, in the office of a Justice of the Supreme Court, and I will do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of this realm, without fear or favour, affection or ill will.
I now invite you to sign the oaths book in which your having taken these oaths is recorded. I now invite you to assume the robes of a Justice of the Supreme Court. I now invite you to take your seat on the bench as a Justice of the Supreme Court with the judicial title of Lord Richards of Redcar. I beg your pardon, Lord. Last week was Lord Richards. In fact, these are Lord Richards' robes, although the hem has had to be taken down by the best part of a foot. So I invite you to take your seat on the bench with the judicial title of Lord Snowden of Redcar. This in a minute. I also have the pleasure in presenting you with your letters patent, and our Chief Executive will hand them to you. Now that concludes our ceremony. I'll ask you to remain in your places for a few minutes while we have a team photo taken in the lobby, and then I'll invite you to join us there for coffee. The court will adjourn.